In this video, I'm going to reveal the blueprint to follow to take a brand new physical commodity trading firm to millions in revenue in 3 years. If you are new to this channel, my name is Damien and I'm the proud owner of a bunch of commodity trading companies operating around the world. So if you want to start your own physical commodity trading firm, I hope that this video will help you to establish a vision and milestone that you could achieve. And just before we start, I want to warn you, this blueprint is for people who start their company with minimum capital, just enough to self-finance their first deals. But if you do have millions in the bank, maybe this blueprint is not for you. And I cannot really help you because I've always started with the bare minimal capital. So here is everything that we are going to see. But first, let's start with this. Which commodity you should start trading? This is the first question that you need to ask yourself. And before giving you my answer, the wrong way to answer this question would be this. Oh, I want to start trading lithium because I've seen on the news that this is hot right now. Oh, I want to start trading copper concentrate because in 2050 there is going to be a shortage of copper, so I want to position myself now. Or, oh, I want to start trading this because I have heard that. No. This is the completely wrong way to start your company. The best way to start your company is what I call buyer-led start. Basically, it looks like this. You find in your network, maybe not the people that you know, but the people that you know knows people. And in this extended network, you find for someone that works in a factory, that own a factory, or any type of industry that need any type of raw material, ingredient, commodities. Then you ask for an introduction to this person. You go meet this person at their work and basically you say something like this. Hey, I'm trying to start my new commodity trading company. Can you just help me get my first deal going? I will match your current supplier payment term, quality. Just give me a try. And if I can match your current supplier, use me. And this is how you start your company, with the commodity that your first buyer wants, whatever they need. Is it carton, chemicals, peat, whatever. You start with that product. Then obviously you could change. But at the beginning, you need to start with what a buyer that is willing to give you a shot want. Because there is one thing that you need to understand. As a commodity trader, your job is to de-risk the transaction for your buyer and your seller. Therefore, when you start, you know nothing. So it's basically risky for your counterparties to deal with you. This is why your best shot is to find a buyer through your network which is willing to give you a try. Whatever is the commodity, raw material, ingredient that he needs. And then you can build from there and start your first year. So you've made your first deal, you delivered your product, and your client is happy. So this is the start of year one. Now the question is, how can you find more clients like those? So the easiest way is just to ask your first client, because there is a good chance that he knows other people that need those raw materials. So you can just go ask him, like, hey buddy, by any chance, would you know another company that will need those raw materials? You'll see what he says. And then another method would just be to scrap the web and find all the companies that will be buyer of this raw material. The best place to find those companies are on LinkedIn, obviously, on the website of the conferences and the B2B event of the industry. Also find trade association website. Any big group of commodity users are regrouped under one association per country. So find this website and again here, look at the names that are under this association. If the names are not public, maybe just send a quick email and say that you are interested to join the association, but you just want to know who are the other companies in the association. Usually they answer quite fast. Then when you have 100 companies or so, make sure to put everything into a CRM to make sure that you don't forget it or you don't lose them down the line. I recently started to use Pipedrive as a CRM to sort the contact and see where they are in the closing pipeline. I would strongly encourage you to use something like Pipedrive very early in your company life cycle. I must have lost millions in unclosed deal because I couldn't find a contact of an old connection. So please don't do the same mistake as I. Don't try to use Excel sheet or stuff like that. Have a dedicated software for all your contacts. Seriously, down the line, you'll see, you'll thank me. And if you want to use Pipedrive, there's an affiliate link below this video. Obviously, you don't have to use Pipedrive, but I think this is the best for small and medium commodity trading firms. So to sum up, Google search, LinkedIn, event, conferences, trade association, this is where you are going to find the name of all the companies involved in the industry that you are looking for. And I also use one other thing to find leads. It's data aggregator. And the one that I use now is called Vuji.com. A data aggregator is basically a website that buys a lot of shipment information from third parties and allows you to find real buyers and real suppliers. And by the way, if you are interested in using this software, just say to the guys at Vuji that I sent you and they will give you a discount. Just linked below this video. Okay, so when you have all your leads in your CMR, then you can start reaching out to them. So usually I would start with LinkedIn or email, and a good email would look like this. So here is a good email. Subject, I always start with a quick question. Then obviously you need to personalize your first line, and it's good if there is a little bit of curiosity. It's important to personalize your first line because you know that when you use Gmail or Outlook, you can see the first line of the email. So if the receiver doesn't know the sender and see that this is a generic line, then they is unlikely to open the email. So the first line here is, I've heard that you shipped more than 200,000 metric tons of XYZ chemical last year. Well done, this is a huge number. So here the curiosity is that if the guy doesn't know you, maybe he would be like, but how does he know that we shipped that much of material? Then you need to add some context and authority to your email. So I'm the owner of the company XYZ. We've been supplying company like yours with XYZ chemicals. And you understand, okay, the guy is the owner of the company and is been in the business. We are currently expanding fast and wanted to know if it would make sense to send you quote. Let's have a quick chat, max 15 minutes. Are you free tomorrow afternoon? So here, this is the CTL, call to action. This is what you want out of those emails. Obviously, you need to make the ask very small, like a quick chat, so then the receiver is more likely to accept. So you get it? You can use this template. I mean, obviously don't copy paste, but you can use this template. And of course, if you don't have an answer with your first email, which is extremely likely, then you follow up, and then you just call. And now let me show you the secret bomb, the secret email that made me open all the doors at the biggest company, but it's very risky. So I need to warn you. Only do it if you are completely sure about the company in front of you, and also if you are completely sure about the quality of your product. So if you remember at the beginning, I said that the value of a commodity trading company is to de-risk the transaction. So the companies that de-risk the most for their counterparties win. So keep that in mind when we read this email. So here is basically the same email, but the CTA is a bit different. We can ship a container as a trial. If you like the quality, you keep it. If not, we'll take it back. Payment only after quality testing, no risk for you. Are you free for a call tomorrow? So here with this email, obviously, as a commodity trader, you take massive risk, but you de-risk the most for your counterparty. So that type of email opened incredible doors for me, but obviously, you need to make sure that you take a measured risk. So only send those type of email to companies that you know that have a long track record, that have been there for 20, 30 years, and that are not going to screw you. Okay, be safe. How to finance your second deal. So now you know all the details. The cost of the shipping, the cost of issuing the document needed for the export, the document needed for the import, everything. So you have your first shipment. So you have a track record, and you know how to make it happen. So this is very important because the idea is that you are going to find someone or a group of people to finance your second deal with the same buyer. So this is the part important. At this stage, I don't think that any local banks will grant you a credit line. I mean, sometimes it depends. I've seen some countries or the banks are quite loose compared to Europe. The idea is for you to use your own money for riskier deal with new client, but you have the track record and the proof that you already did it with your first client. So you are going to get this one financed by FFF, friends, family and full. So you go to them and say, look, this is what I did with my first shipment. Now I want to do a second one because my client has other needs. And I just wanted to make it a little bit bigger. So can you lend me the money? And we split the profit. And usually, it works. If you speak to enough people, some will say yes. Accounting secret. So this part, I need you to hear it, to understand it, and to burn it in your brain. Your book must be perfect. Your second job as a CEO of this little company of yours is to make sure that your accounting is perfect. It follows laws, regulations, and it's easy to read. Please understand this. As a commodity trading company, you make money by leveraging OPM, other people's money. So that means that you need to be able to borrow as much money as possible. And in the business world, accounting is the language. So if your accounting is bad, difficult to understand, or if you put like your cars and personal stuff on your company balance sheet, then for an institutional financier or even for like any type of alternative financier, they are going to look at your balance sheet and say, man, what is that, man? I can't understand it, I'm sorry. I just can't deal with you. And if your accountant says, oh, maybe you can buy this, buy that before the end of the year so then you can decrease your tax, don't do it. Your long-term goal is to have perfect book that show a good growth with a good profitability to potential founders down the line. Pay a little bit of taxes. I mean, it looks good, This is a price to pay now, so then you can raise millions in debt in the future. And if your accountant don't understand that, maybe you should change, okay? So keep your book in order. Make sure from day one your accounting is perfect. I know that you are probably an entrepreneur type, so you hate that type of admin, papers, stuff. But force yourself to do it. Seriously. You'll thank me in 3 years when you sign your first $1 million collateral loan. The one thing to make it work. To have a successful commodity trading firm, there is only one rule to follow. One rule to rule them all. It's only one rule. If you follow it, you'll make it. Okay? Very simple. The rule is this one. Don't lose money. That's it. So you'll see if your company is getting a little bit of traction and you start to have clients in your pipeline and you start to make few deals with your FFF and your own money, you will feel like you are making it, that you are somebody that now it starts to work and so on. Don't make your brain fool you. You are like Jon Snow. You know nothing. Don't do prepayment. Don't give credit to buyers. Don't do thing that could result in a loss. The trading company that works long term are the trading company that do not take risk and do not have loss. Your company is too small for you to take a loss. Don't compare yourself to the big guys out there when you can see in the papers, oh, they lost that amount of money, they lost that amount of money. Because first of all, this is what the journalist says, but maybe this is not really that true. Maybe they have an insurance that they didn't tell to the journalist. Seriously, don't take face value what you read, and your company is too small to take a loss. If you take a loss, it's going to set back your company a year, 2 years, 3 years, what it could be without that loss. So one rule, don't lose money. Don't make split payment terms, okay? And I know it's way easier to make deals with payment terms. Of course it's way easier, but don't let your greed override your brain. You know nothing. Everyone else around you knows more. They are there to get your money, okay? So keep it clean. Your skill will create the opportunity. So right now, you are only 1 year in. You don't have a lot of skills. Everyone around you have more skills. The more skills you will get, the more opportunities you will see. But this is how it works, man. Don't try to shortcut. You'll get smashed in the face, as I did many, many times. So please learn from my mistakes. Year 2, credit lines. Okay, so now your first year is done. You have a few deals under your belt. You have your first balance sheet that you can show to local banks and try to get some type of credit line from them. It will depend where your company are. Also, the regulations of your local banks. You probably can get like a very small credit line, unsecured credit line, because it's secured by your company profit. So if you have small profit, it's going to be a small amount of credit, but at least take it, use it. Even if you only have 10,000 US dollar or something very small, use this credit, repay it, use it, repay it for the full year. So then the banks can see that they can lend you more money down the line. But it's even if the amount is extremely small, you need to do everything to start getting your first credit line from your local banks. Your local banks are the only one that will lend you money right now, so use it. First financial instrument. So now you should be able to have access to your first financial instrument. The first one is going to be called factoring. Factoring is when you are going to give to the factor your invoice and they are going to pay you a little bit less of the amount of the factor. So then you can get your money immediately instead of waiting 30 days to get your money paid by your client. This instrument is usually quite expensive, but it's one of the first instruments available for a new company. You can give payment term to your client and you can get your money immediately if you give the invoice to your factors. Clear? The second financial instrument that you need to look at is something called credit insurance. It's a little bit like factoring. No, it's not like factoring. Credit insurance is the fact that you can give payment terms to your customer, and if your credit insurance accept your customer, then if your customer default on his payment, the credit insurance will reimburse you. Again, it's a quite expensive insurance and it doesn't work in case of a commercial claim. So if your client doesn't pay you because the quality is bad or because whatever, the credit insurance says, look, this is not a default. Your client is still profitable, his company is still running, so this is not a default. In that case, we don't repay you, and this is a commercial issue. So be careful. Don't think you are safe because you use credit insurance. The third financial instrument is called letter of credit. So this is something that you should be able to use, that now banks should be okay to open to you. I'm not going to explain everything about letter of credit. Look online, what is it? But it's a quite common payment mean in international trade. Templatization. So now you need your company to look more professional. Stop to do the amateur. Now it's time to be professional, and one easy way to do it is to do template for all your communication. For instance, when you need to book a truck, to book shipping container, to send shipping instruction, to send document instruction, or whatever type of important communication, it needs to be always under the same form. So this is why you need a template. For instance, let's take something that all of you can understand. Like when you need to book a truck, what are the information that you need to send to the trucking company and to your supplier? So I guess location of the loading, time of the loading, product to be loaded, destination, document that needs to be to accompany the product. I think there is maybe 10 data points that you need to give to your transport company and to your supplier. So make a template for that. Make a Google template, and each time that you need to send those information, instead of doing the WhatsApp thing, now everyone is doing it by WhatsApp, it's a hassle, no one find anything on WhatsApp. It's true that it's fast, but now you need to be professional. So you make a template and you will always use the same template when you will send those information to your counterparty. It will make your company way more professional. And now it's the time of getting out of the amateurish camp to the professional camp. So start by this very simple thing, not creating SOPs, standard operating procedure and things like this, but start by creating template for all your recurring communication that have legal value. Again, transport order, containers booking, document remittance, I mean all those type of communication needs to be templatized down the line. Profit usage. Year 2, you start to make a little bit of profit, good for you. Maybe this is not enough to sustain yourself. This is why you still have a side job or whatever. But I would strongly encourage you to use your first profit to extend your network. It's crucial in commodity trading. You need to have knowledge, skill set, and network. So now is the time to use this money to take a plane ticket, to go to conferences, B2B events, industries, to shake hands, to explain what you do, and so on. It's time to extend your network. Now you are not new anymore. You have dozens of shipments, dozens of loading under your belt. You kind of understand how the market works, but it's time for you to get out there and meet people face to face. And the best place to do it is to go to conferences, B2B events. It's really expensive, those events. I mean, they are not cheap, but you need to make the effort to extend your network. And you'll see by shaking the right hand, by being humble enough, but putting yourself out there, you will find opportunities that you couldn't dream of that could fall on your lap. So use your profit wisely. Year 3, more funding. Well done, you are year 3 of your company. I don't think a lot of companies go to year 3, so well done to you. You are going to make it work. So year 3 is when things start to really go faster. So now your local bank should be able to give you more credit. So you should have now the opportunity to leave your current job and to do this full time, because with more money, you can make more margin, and more margin, more profit. And if you were smart and you didn't take any loss, now you should be in a really, really good position. More funding, go back to your bank, ask for more credit lines. You should get it, especially if you were wise with how you used it last year. There is another type of finance here that you should look at now, it CTF fund, Commodity Trade Finance Fund. So they are the ones that are willing to lend you money at a high yield against your stock or any type of commodity collateral. The size of your transaction must be big enough for them to be interested in, but you should start to make contact with them. Especially if you need stock financing in a safe country, you should go speak to them to see if anything could be done with them. Team. So now it's time to hire your first people. I have not much to say about it. I could speak about it like 20 hours. All the mistake that I made, hiring the wrong people, the wrong associate and so on. But this video is not about that. So year 3 is when you should have like enough profit also to start to have some people to help you. And if you templatize your company well enough, it should be easy for some assistants to do the task that you did. Ultimate secret. So the ultimate secret is now you need to do your year 3 again and again and again, only with better, bigger client, more financing, and a better team. So this is the 3 things that you are going to try to increase each year. Bigger clients, more financing, and better team member, and maybe more team member. So now your goal is to do year 3 again and again and again and again until your company is big enough, cash flow, millions of profit for you, and then you can basically start to do whatever you want with your company. But yeah, the ultimate secret is that the year 3 is the same. It's just the same year again and again and again. That's it for this video. I hope that you liked the video and that you learned something. Please leave a comment below. What do you think about this blueprint? This is somehow the blueprint that I follow with all my companies. And if you want to learn into the world of commodity trading, click the first link below this video. You will land on the Shipping and Commodity Academy, where you can learn everything about this exciting industry. Ciao.